Yes, my name is Michael Chiaradio, and I'm running for the U.S. House seat in the 3rd District. It goes from Oktibbeha County in Starkville down to Clark County. Mm-hmm. It loops out to Pike County and kind of bubbles up to here in Jackson, and it's a big district. So anyway, that's the district, and I'm running on a platform that is, I think, great for our district and our state. We're going to lower healthcare costs, rebuild a lot of our infrastructure, increase teachers' pay, mm-hmm. and also help reindustrialize, especially using what I call the agricultural value chain. I hope we get a chance to talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. We would love to hear about it. So for the folks who are watching that may not understand the seat that you actually are running for, what all that entails, can you tell us what does a U.S. House member actually do for Mississippi day to day?
Well, in a fundamental sense, when the country started, they wanted people to have a say in the government. Mm-hmm. And it got to a point where there was too many people to vote every time. So they sectioned them up, and they said, well, you elect a representative from that area. So in this case, I would go to Washington, D.C. and represent the district in Washington in one of the two bodies, what they call the legislative, bicameral legislature. So there's a Senate and there's a House. So I'm one of 4 House representatives that would represent Mississippi. And I'd work with the Senate is the alternate body. And of course, we would work with the executive branch. And so, yes, my goal is to represent the people.
Absolutely. We would love to hear that. So what can I say, let's say, about District 3? It stretches from the college town of Starkville to the suburbs of Jackson to Meridian. How do you unite such a geographically and economically diverse district under one campaign?
Well, it's in some ways you go places and you know that there are certain pain points there, and you can talk maybe more about small business development, some places more about rural development, other places. But the reality, I think now in our country is about 90% of the people have very similar problems. So it's leaning into the uniqueness of the situation, but recognizing we have the asset and income concentration. We have the economy is unsustainable, broadly speaking. We don't have enough small business. We don't have enough of what is a real economy. So we don't have enough infrastructure. Our school system, the public schools are under assault everywhere. So some of these things really do resonate broadly. And we touch on those, and I try to kind of marry both. I meet the moment to some extent. But at the end of the day, there's big trends that are not going in the right direction. They're not being addressed. And we talk about those. And I think they transcend some of the demographics in the district even.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a great, synopsis of it. With your focus, your campaign focus, primarily being with strengthening Mississippi's economy, definitely edit, economy with federal investments in healthcare infrastructure and funding for public schools, as well as developing Mississippi's workforce and industrial base by making federal investments in agricultural value chain and expanded favorable lending for small businesses. With that, what does investing in the agricultural value chain mean for our farmers and local businesses? Because you're a farmer as well, correct?
I am. I have a small farm. I did have pigs, but I got out of the pigs. I have sheep and cows now.
Okay.
So the value chain, it's like, I think we sometimes think of a supply chain, but a value chain is similar but slightly different. So it's a value-added service. So you're tapping into multiple supply chains. And for the small farmer, first of all, they've forced the small farmer to get big or get out. So it's too difficult with some of the regulation and some of the infrastructure that you need. You just don't have enough acres to spread the cost, and the big guy does. And there's maybe other contributing factors. But we have to let the small farmer more easily access the value chain. There's ways to do that. And you have to have small business that can touch that value chain. So just to keep it simple, mm-hmm. You have a chicken. I don't have chickens anymore, but you're a chicken farmer. Mm-hmm. The chicken doesn't debone itself, put itself on a tractor trailer, drive itself, package itself. And then in some cases, even that last value-added service is they're going to season themselves and deep fry themselves.
Right.
So it's a specialized, monetized economy. So the specialization of our economy, 6 different people could touch that. And so anyway, as we've eroded small business, and we've basically regulated the rural community to death, these jobs disappear and these towns disappear. So we need to think about, so how does it impact us? I tell people we can rebuild the cities and towns, and they kind of look at me. I said, we're going to build new cities, and they're like, can we do that? I'm like, we do it all the time. It's called military bases all over the world. We don't need to go into that.
No,
but for us, the key is to have something attract that one little trickle of cash. So in our case, you could do a couple: intelligent infrastructure investment. We need water. We need energy infrastructure. So like things like that to help. It's temporary, but you have that, and then you can establish the more sustainable, for us, our competitive advantage is the agriculture, and then build the value chain around it. And you can have this is not to give you too long of an answer here, but you have a 3-step thing. You have a local economy that can function. Mm-hmm. Mississippi can interplay with the national, which is, I tell people all the time, we have to think about how do we step in to the national economy to help make it sustainable. We're an unsustainable economy, overly financialized. We can grow and build and make things here that fix both those problems here. And then even, I would go further, globally, the United States has lost its competitive position in the world. I mean, going back 50 years, significantly. And so now we have to think, how can we have, you don't have to be number one. Maybe people want to be, but you need a durable competitive position. If we lose the dollar as the reserve, if China becomes the number one dollar, if you go to crypto, everybody's now on crypto. So you want to be able to do things that can transcend that. And you can still have, you can deliver value more so than thinking about money. No matter what the money is, we can get some, we can participate, we can be valuable to the world.
Yeah.
And so anyway, that's my vision for it.
I learned something new. So definitely good way to break that down. So you mentioned the water challenges and infrastructure earlier. So with Jackson and its surrounding communities face serious infrastructure and water challenges, what would you fight for in Congress to address this?
The simplest way to do it, we need to rebuild water infrastructure. So it would probably need to come in a big national bill. I was trying to do the math just the other day, probably $400 or $500 billion to do like municipal scale water. You could maybe involve the USDA to some extent. So before I go on, the key is for us now, politically, we have to do it all with a simple majority. Maybe we get 60 Democrats in the Senate, but I don't know that that's realistic. So you have to get it passed through budget reconciliation. And like Biden did, Biden got a lot of infrastructure. It was geared toward clean energy, which is fine. But like for us now, we need to broaden what that looks like. I would say energy transmissions like the grid. And then we need water infrastructure, broadly speaking.
Yeah.
And maybe you can have it be farming specific in some cases, but that municipal level, you probably need hundreds of counties need that. Yeah. So for us to really make the change we need, you're not looking for like a grant or an appropriation. Many people can do that. And Benny Thompson's done it many times. But like we need material, massive movement. And that has to come with a federal lead, and you can coordinate with state and local government to get a build out. And the more the federal takes the lead, the quicker you can put it online. As you know, in Starkville, they're still building stuff that Biden got it passed.
Yeah.
But it takes 100 years to get through because you're waiting on a state to give you something that like the states are good.
Yeah.
I think we should take the ball and go to the basket and, dunk the ball. It's not time to wait on the states. The problems that we have need to be addressed by the federal. They're best positioned, not what Republicans are doing now. They're leaning on the states and incidentally leaning on the people. This is a mistake. It should be the other way. We got to lift them, take the burden off them, build these big long-lived assets ourselves, or, in federal. And so that's what we need. And you could do it through reconciliation, 51 senators, put it through the House. No Republican needed, even though they should vote for it. And then, that's exactly how it would be done. You have to do that. And hopefully it would be reconciliation. So
yeah,
it's our version of the big, I was half happy they did it that way.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, now there's precedent for it. Because I was like, you're going to need to.
You're gonna need it.
Space it out over 2 years. But now it's like, no, let's just go in and hammer it.
Yeah. So for your opponent, he ran unopposed, meaning voters had no democratic choice. What does it mean to you to give District 3 Democrats a voice on the ballot?
A lot. And it meant a lot in the beginning. And I thought it was terrible. You shouldn't have an unopposed person. And I wanted to be involved politically. I thought I might be a staffer, not a politician.
Yeah.
But I've been interested for a long time. And when I saw that, I was like, I might need to think about, I think I could maybe help there. So there was that. But then there's even more so after I joined, where I'm now meeting people, and I've been able to earn their trust. And they tell me, even just last night, I was in Philadelphia and we talk, and I was sitting there taking questions for 2 hours almost. And they say, we believe in you. Like, we have faith in you. We know you're going to go and fight for us. Like, I'm with you. And having people like that, and these are folks who have been here their whole lives, and they tell me about their town and what it used to be like, and to have that, it's humbling to have that trust. And I was committed anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm more committed. More committed than ever to giving them 100%.
Yeah, and definitely as the Mississippi Democratic Party, we are definitely happy to have you as a nominee for U.S. House of Representative District 3.
Thank you.
Just my final wrap up really for this, unless you have something else to add, what do you need from the people to help you get that extra push across the finish line?
Well, the only thing I would add, if I could, is I think it's important that people understand like the seriousness of the moment, and how important it is for us to act now. And there's a number of ways that you can frame that here at home and all over the world. So it's the time is now to act. And I think the one thing I'm always needing money, which I don't like the system, but that is the system. We have to raise money to do what we do.
Yeah, you have to invest for a return on investment, right?
So you can always donate to me if you want.
Yeah.
But I think beyond that, something that I would say at some of the Black History Month events is the civil rights movement. The women's rights. They weren't just voting every other year to make change. These were active, engaged people. And more than that, they built a community around what they were doing. So I think for us, if you're out there, I hope I do get to meet people,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I'm committed to being there as much as possible. But at the end of the day, like it's on each one of us to kind of build a little community around what we're doing, and recognize that we're not just going to fix it showing up once every other year to vote. Like, get involved in your local county party, get involved with the state party. There's things that we're doing. May 22nd, we have a dinner, right?
Yeah, Hammer winter dinner. Yes, absolutely.
So we're doing it. We're trying to build a community, and I think that it's good for us to encourage others to do that in their own way. It's a big district, and there's plenty that needs to be done. So that would be it.
Okay. Thank you. And I said last question, but I would say for this, what would be your charge to voters in preparation for Election Day, November 3rd of this year? Being that, we had the Experian data used during primary where tons of people were pretty much purged off of the rolls. What would you say to those voters who may have been discouraged in, as well as just voters who did get to vote and cast their ballot? What would you give them?
Well, it's a time where we obviously have some, I don't know if assault is the right word, but almost an assault on certain rights. And remember, I would say people died. We tend to think of that as soldiers, but also, civil rights people. They were literally beaten and imprisoned unfairly and killed. And so people stepped up and fought for us to have the right. And we should see through that we get to vote. And it was actually a gentleman said yesterday, he said, I don't care if I got to drive to the next county, if I got to show a passport. He's like, I'm not letting a little obstacle. And I thought this was a great attitude. Now it's not right. And he said that we maybe shouldn't have these things. He said, but I'm not letting an obstacle separate me from my duty.
Yeah.
And that I really appreciated him saying that. And I think that embodies what we should be. We have to, let's lay the groundwork. Let's prepare in the community. And we have a moment here where we can really swing this thing in the right the
in
correct
the right
direction.
direction.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we're working to do that. And I admire your work for that. So
I
we're all
appreciate
doing
that
it. Yeah.
so much. This concludes our interview. If you could please state your name again so that those around can pronounce it correctly.
You could just call me Michael. See, I've been with this last name my whole life. My saying now is you can call me whatever you want. Just don't call me late for dinner.
There you go.
But it's Michael Chiaradio.
Okay.
Michael Chiaradio. My middle initial is A, as in Apple.
Okay.
Michael Chiaradio, and I'm the U.S. House Representative Democratic nominee for the 3rd District.
All right. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you. Thank you.